Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Old MFer here. Right now, I'm in the process of want to pick a bunch of plants. One of the problems I'm having at the moment is that my game is not liking my garden. We'll wait for this to all pixelate real quick. So, up here, this home level 4 that's on the north border, this is my sky. And last night I planted a lot of crops. I'm talking in the range somewhere between, I'd say, 4,000 and 6,000 crops. Unfortunately, the graphics on that are insane. And it took a lot out of my system to try and do it. So here we are at the flame altar. The ground below here is about a third of the way up inside of a fully upgraded flame cube, or the protected area. So, as you can see, this is the garden area down here. And last night, while I was planting all this, my computer was just getting angry with me. And that was just being at performance instead of max performance. Someone drop down here, give you a little tour of it. As you can see, one of my plans is to line up the whole area with seed beds and just be able to plant any kind of crop at any quantity I wanted to at some point. Eventually I'll have 12 wells and 48 seed beds running around this place. But as you can see, I think I got 500 flax planted, about 700 berry bushes, about 500 to 600 red pepper plants. We got about 250 chamomile. We got a little bit of indigo here. We got the beets, got the blue mushrooms, we got the red mushrooms. Actually, my game's handling this pretty well today. We got a bunch of spring nettle here, a little bit more indigo in the back. I think it's about 160 blue indigo between both plots. A couple hundred corn here. Not exactly sure what these are. I forget. These are those plants that you get that are started with A. Saffron, flax. And that's pretty much what I got here. And as you can see, I'm already hitting a little bit of lag in this. So the idea now, we're going to go through and pick it all up and see what I got here. I think this will increase my frames per second and give me a little bit of relief while playing, because it was near impossible last night. I should go to my backpack and make sure I got nothing in here. I got my lock picks, but we'll move those into my hotbar so I can see just exactly how much of this I've planted. Unfortunately, I hit some of the saffron too. I was going to do them one at a time. That's all good. I should have plenty of room by the time I get through all this. Needless to say, the process of planting this many one by one took me a few hours last night. So we're just going to go through and pick all this flax up. Didn't really need it all. It's just, I like having big setups. I don't like waiting on stuff when I'm playing these games. And the idea here too was to have a surplus ready for when full release happens, that I can go through and just, whatever new plants come out, I don't need to worry about having both set up. I've got an area that I can plant whatever comes. So let's get through here. You can tell this is going to take a few minutes. Bear with me. I'll try and be as entertaining as I possibly can. But I think having all these plants, I'm not sure if it's the plants themselves or if it's the growing process. When you plant a bunch at one time, you know how it goes through phases where it's growing. It has graphics disappear for one, pop up, the new ones load. It was just being brutally intensive on my system. But I am running a 5-year-old ASUS ROG laptop. And this is a local host server. I'm not going to give out the info for that. But I absolutely love this game. It's visually stunning as can be. And once I get all these picked, I'll up the graphics and you can see exactly what this place looks like with a little bit more detail. But today's plan for me I need to go harvest a bunch more scrap metal because I need a bunch of nails. Need nails for building wells. I think I got enough wood and stuff to do seed beds and stuff. I want to finish out my seed beds and wells. Seed bed to build. Yeah. Yeah, I'm from West Virginia. Be glad I'm audible at all. I'm just kidding. I say I need it's the hillbilly mafia coming after me. And no, that's not a real thing. So as you can see what do I have so far? Bunch of flax so far, and I'm about halfway done picking it. I will say this, be very careful when you're picking plants. That's purple berries too. That you don't have a weapon equipped, because if you accidentally hit the wrong button, you'll just slice through a bunch of stuff, and then all you got's some plant fiber instead of the plants you're looking for. My original garden's pretty small. It only holds like 160 items. Me, I use snapping to plant things. That really helps a lot, by the way. Also, too, I don't think it helps that this island I'm on is done all out of terrain blocks except for the floors inside. I know if I go to one of the spires nearby and look back at it, that the shell of this doesn't render. And that could be a pixelation problem that I'm running into. I'm not saying a problem with the game. Man, how nice it'd be to have villagers that would harvest for you, even if you still got a plant. It'd be nice to have villagers that can harvest for you. Or if you could just go through your sword, were to have auto looting of things that you cut. Just be able to take your sword and slash all this stuff down. That'd be great. But you got to play by the rules of the game the way they set them up. So it's all good. Me, I wanted to fully plant this area out before I harvested. As many problems as I ran into last night with this stuff growing, I'm not chancing it. And I'm hoping that getting rid of all these plants, putting them into the boxes I have, just kind of alleviates it. If you're wondering how much time I have in this game, right now I'm sitting at about 665 hours of playtime since it was released on January 24th. And yes, this is all fertilized farm soil, so things were growing a lot faster too. So maybe that's something for me to experiment with instead of coming through and picking everything like this. Go through and plant maybe 500 plants at a time. That way you don't get the evolving process. in your graphics display. I know I should just go out and buy a new computer, but I like the one I got. It's working well for what I normally use it for, but I can be a little bit of abusive when it comes to the games like this on system requirements. Especially right now, I'm running OBS and I'm not having any issues with it to begin with too. So this has actually been a pretty smooth run so far. Now I'm not going to make you sit here and watch a video of me just picking plants. So once we get to the end of the flax here and you can get an idea of just how much stuff is in this place, you'll be able to see. I'll post some screenshots on in Discord a little bit later in the enshrouded area, just to show how much of this was of all the plants that I had harvested. I'm running out of room here. I'll tell you, yesterday I had planted a bunch of, or 2 days ago I planted a bunch of aloe. And I'll tell you this, if you plant aloe, don't plant it around things that it can fall into. When you're chopping it down, because to harvest aloe, you got to use an axe. And each aloe plant probably gives out, I would say 8 to 10, maybe up to 12 aloe. And there you go. Here's all the plants that the flax alone that I just harvested. And I'll get this to go like that, right? So that alone we got what, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,030 flax that I planted yesterday. For those of you who don't know, deposit stacks, boom. So everything that I placed in there, it takes the rest of it and puts it inside there. Really handy function of this. So some things in this game are great, other things are good, but still leave a little bit to be desired, but it's still a fantastic game. And if you like building, if you like doing these big time consuming projects like this is absolutely the game for you. Me, I've been enjoying it. But I don't like to do just building, just adventure, just farming. I like a game that it's pretty comprehensive when it comes to that. In this game, the adventure side leaves a little bit to be desired, I'll admit that. There's not a wide variety of creatures in this game to fight. You have, 5 bosses, and then you have the black armored guys, the blue guys, and a couple of animals. There's only, 5 NPCs besides you? So, but there's a couple of things that a lot of people haven't hit in this game, like the tombs. The tombs are probably one of the best little areas for fun. There are those little hidden gems in here. I love how they got traps. There's hidden things if you look for it. Thank goodness that the silver chest glowed, because I'd have probably missed a bunch of them. But the sun temples, they're, the puzzles you got to deal with in there, trying to find door latches to get doors open. the different talent specs. Everybody's like, oh, mage is overpowered. But, I like archer a lot. Archer still leaves an element of challenge to the game because you're low armor, you don't have as much health, but you can do a good bit of damage with the bow. If you're wondering what bow I'm using, right now I'm using the Wolf Snarl longbow. It may be the only 1 second draw speed bow in the game, but for me, that bow is, which is on my hotbar down there on the left, it has a higher top end damage. So when you do, sneak attacks and backstab, when your initial hits, they hit hard. Sometimes you can, if you get a multi-shot, it'll just eliminate some of these things. Melee is probably, the warrior builds are probably have leave the most to be desired, because a lot of the mobs in this game, you have to deal with range. So here with Saffron, as you can see, I got it all picked. We got 300, 400 exactly. Now, one thing I did find out is there's a couple of things that you can't plant in this game. One is the desert flowers, and there are a few recipes for that. So you actually have to go out and find those in the Nomad Highlands mainly. The recipes that involve it. Hazelnuts is another one. There's no making seedlings for it. And that's up in Rebelwood. You'll find a couple patches of hazelnuts here and there, but there's not a lot of use for them yet. Now maybe there's going to be some more recipes later on, so it doesn't hurt. It's also like if you're a miner, if you like collecting resources, there's only 2 spots that I've found so far for getting obsidian. A lot of people think there's only one, but there is another. And it's not far from the first one, so Nomad Highlands is probably the place for obsidian. Amber's another resource that some people have a hard time finding. Most of those you'll find in the, go to Rebelwood and go to the little cracks in the ground in the shroud, and you'll be able to find it down there. It looks kind of like a yellowish slime covered rock. So let's go back over here. Deposit saffron. Deposit flour, which we got 180 of those. Something I don't understand is why some things stack to 50, some only stack to 20, and others stack to 100. In those deposit stacks. I love that feature. Just like this. Alright, well I think you've heard enough of me rambling and stuff. And it's getting to be nighttime around this place. Finish out the little tour here. That's my building area. Down here, the idea is I've created a area out of different blocks. I want to see how they react in different graphic settings. So this is like the bronze block, and over here is bone block. I need to put there's all the 4M, 2M, and 1M ones that you can use in the feature. I think I forgot to put a 1M block up in the upper corner there, right above my head. I'd put a 1M block, and the idea is to create a standard one of each type of building block so I could see how it joins to another block at different graphic settings. And I will be posting screenshots of that later on once I complete it. Wow, that's interesting. I'm seeing the design from my floor above where I sank it through the upright blocks. And of course, Down here is all the luminous growth on the bottom side. I did enter this island into the Architects of Wonder contest, but it didn't get picked. Can't say I'm shocked about that. Whoa, I got a hole here. 2 holes, I gotta fix that. Is that a 3rd hole? That is the 3rd hole there. Ah, I thought I had all this done. But this right here leads out to the Nomad Highlands below. It's a good thing. You know what? I have only looked at this at high graphics setting. I think it got covered. So there you go. If you need to inspect things, make sure you turn your graphics down. More stuff will become visible. And this is the main top area up here right now. The idea is this block area like this is going to be the framework for the building that I'm going to put on top. I'm thinking about using this whole area through here to plant trees so I can harvest wood too. You know, these broadleaf trees. Now this is all dirt up here. I think the top of this island, it took about 14,000 dirt to put a double layer on top of. As you can see by the view below, all that luminous growth puts out a lot of light. And we'll go down there in a second. I'll take you up to the top here. So this is the flame altar, which is the dead center of the altar cube that I'm working with. This is giving you an idea about how much there is around here. And the stairwell leads to the top of the altar cube, or the flame protected area. If I had my building hammer out, you'd see the orange line running right through about my thighs on this character. But as you can see down below, the light displays cast. But we'll go ahead and drop. So, kind of give you a view of the underside here. Sure there'd be a terrible teddy bear down here somewhere waiting for me, but here is the underside. Now that black spot you're seeing over there, it's just where it hasn't rendered. That one too. There you go. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll go ahead and cut this here.